Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to the WDW Magic Show. I am your host, Tim Sierra Mist, and I have first time Walt Disney World guest, Katiebug101.
Excuse me. Rude. I have been to the parks well over 20 times.
Oh. Well, please excuse me. I have 20-time guest Katiebug101 here to give us a trip report on her magical vacation to Walt Disney World. Please tell us all about your your awesome visit to the Walt Disney World Resort.
Let me start out by saying that I love Disney World, or at least I did until my recent trip on Monday, March 3, 2014. I have been to Disney at least 20 times. I honeymooned at Disney World. I have Disney stock. I never ever thought I would ever write a complaint letter to the happiest place on earth. Granted, I have not been in a few years. There have been lots of changes at Disney, and most of them are not good. The reason I have not gone in a few years is that I have been busy having children, an adorable little princess who is 2 years old, named Sky, and my 5-month-old little prince Dylan. I also have a 12-year-old princess, Julie, and 14-year-old princess, Caitlin. We are a big family. We paid lots of money for our tickets.
Oh. I was under the impression you went to Walt Disney World, not Disneyland. But yes, I agree. Ticket prices and parking are a bit pricey. Still, you get excellent value out of those tickets.
The charge of parking has gone up. It is $14 and it was $10. When you park for the Magic Kingdom, you actually wind up at the Ticket and Transportation Center and then have to take a tram. You can't put the baby and all the stuff in the stroller because it will not fit on the tram. I guess you could walk, because it took 15 minutes to wait for the tram anyway. After you get to the Ticket and Transportation Center, then you have to take the ferry or monorail to the actual Magic Kingdom. It took over an hour to actually get to the gates of the Magic Kingdom from the time we parked. I think that's a little ridiculous.
I actually enjoy taking the boat across the lake to the Magic Kingdom. Really, a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and I like to think of it as the first ride of the day. A free one at that, if you will. But you took the monorail, as I understand. How did you enjoy that?
The first thing I noticed from the monorail is that the castle is under construction. Not very magical. Once inside the park, the moat is drained. It is ugly, not magical at all. And the inside of the castle is closed. There were 2 cast members blocking the way who rudely told us we could go around the back, past the smoking area and drained moat, which is very unmagical. The cast members could clearly see that Sky was crying because all she wanted to do was see Cinderella's castle and meet Cinderella. They didn't do anything. In fact, they just looked disgusted that we were bothering them, and now my annoying kid was crying. They didn't say, "Don't worry, you'll see Cinderella later," or offer to escort her in back themselves, or tell us where we could meet or see Cinderella later, or even say, "I'm sorry, little princess, please don't cry." So basically, we were there for less than 15 minutes and my little girl is crying. So we went in the back way, made a wish in the fountain, and saw what we could of the castle, which wasn't much.
Well, I think you may be a bit overly critical here. To be fair, they have to do maintenance on some attractions, scenery, and buildings every once in a while. That is why everything generally looks so well maintained. It's unfortunate the castle moat was drained during your visit, but that is just the luck of the draw, ha ha ha. As for your prince and princesses, it's more your responsibility to take care of your kids' temper tantrums than the cast members. On my last visit.
We're not talking about you and your visit. We are talking about me. Me. Okay, so where was I? My little girl never did see Cinderella that day. I thought we could meet her after the castle show because all the characters come down afterwards to greet the children, but apparently that is a thing of the past. After the show, the characters disappeared. This caused my little princess to cry again. Then I was told that they are holding Cinderella captive in the new Princess Fairytale Hall and you can get a fast pass so you don't have to wait in line for over an hour. Well, I went to get fast passes and the new system would not allow me to get one. Ariel was also unavailable and so was Rapunzel. I was able to get a fast pass to meet Mickey but that wasn't until 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. I used to be able to get a fast pass outside any ride. Now you can only get 3? This is a horrible system. I was waiting in line for 45 minutes to get the fast passes. How is that fast or magical?
Why are your children crying every 30 seconds anyways? But wait, didn't you do any planning before your visit? Bother to read the WDW Magic forums, or even the Disney World frequently asked questions. I mean, you do claim to be a Disney travel agent, right? You can plan these fast passes months in advance to ensure you get the attractions you want most. I'm sorry, but you are coming off as a bit naive and entitled here, and frankly, it is beginning to wear thin, Your Majesty. You forget you are sharing the park with thousands upon thousands of other guests. But let's change the subject. Disney has some great dining venues in the Magic Kingdom. How did you like the dining options?
At lunchtime, we went to Cosmic Rays, or at least tried to. I got little Dylan out of the stroller along with all the stuff and sent my hubby to get the food so I could sit down with the little kids. There were 2 cast members guarding the door to where the seating is blocking the way. I was told that I couldn't sit down unless I have bought food. What? Are you serious? I pointed to my husband in line and told him that I could not wait 30 minutes with a 2-year-old and 5-month-old without a stroller. I told my husband, who was furious and complained to the manager, Sam. Sam did nothing. Sam did not apologize. Sam did not let me sit down. Sam did not give us vouchers for free dessert. Sam did nothing but stand in front of the door and treat us like second-class citizens. I wasn't bringing in food from home. I was planning to buy it, but even if the opposite was the case, why aren't people allowed to sit down anywhere for free? Especially people with little children who paid over $100 per person to get into the park? I was so angry I left and went over to Pecos Bills. They also had cast members guarding the seats. I was hungry and frustrated, so I gave in and waited with the kids to get all the food before I sat down. This is a ridiculous policy and it needs to be changed right away. People are paying ridiculous prices for so-so food and you won't let a mother of 4 sit down. I'm serious, if you keep doing this to mothers with little kids, it will cause a riot. There was a mother of twins and another grandmother at Cosmic Rays who were just as angry as I was. I would also like to mention that Julie is a picky eater. She eats chicken nuggets or pizza. There was nothing on the menu at Pecos Bills for her to eat, only burgers. I talked her into a Southwest salad, which had grilled chicken on it. Food selection, quality, and customer service is better at the State Fair than at Disney World restaurants.
Can I just?
Wait. Let me finish. You aren't in archaeology class, Professor. Okay, don't you think all the restaurants should have staples for the kids? Hot dog, hamburger, pizza, mac and cheese, chicken nuggets, corn dogs. Sky wanted ice cream. I couldn't get it there. I was told to go to a vendor outside. And why don't you sell McDonald's fries anymore? I loved that. After we were seated, I needed to get up and get napkins and toppings. Apparently, you are paying the guards to watch the guests because 3 cast members asked me what I was doing out of my seat and reminded me that I couldn't sit down unless I had bought food. They were not offering to help me get everything I needed to feed my troop, they were strictly enforcing the rules and treating everyone like cattle. A cast member followed me back to my seat to make sure I had really bought food. So lunch was not very magical at all. I paid over $70 for everyone and nobody was happy.
You have to understand though. The cast members aren't trying to harass you. They are trying to ensure there is plenty of seating for all guests who want to come into the quick dining restaurant to eat. On busier days, Popular restaurants are often at overcapacity, and they are just doing their jobs to ensure as many people are happy and have a chance to dine as possible. Sam the manager doesn't owe you an apology or a free dessert coupon. You owe Sam an apology for wasting his time when he could have been helping other guests with legitimate concerns. But that aside, might I suggest you try a place outside the park next time? Maybe Morton's Steakhouse. Or Bubba Gump Shrimp CO. I would suggest something like Yachtsman, but I fear you don't comprehend how reservations work after your FastPass debacle. But I am curious how your dinner went anyways.
For dinner, I tried to make reservations but was told there was nothing available unless I went to downtown Disney. Crystal Palace and Be Your Guest had a 3-hour wait and we were told that people with reservations have priority. I find it really hard to fathom that Disney World is making it so difficult to get a simple meal. We skipped dinner and ate at Denny's, which was cheaper and made everyone happy.
Well, at least you are happy finally. I wasn't sure we would ever get to this point. So that's a win for Denny's. Left a huge tip, I hope. So it looks like you didn't have a great time overall. Are we ever going to get you back in the Disney parks again? I notice you said you didn't like Disney anymore.
Next week we are planning to go to Epcot or MGM during spring break. I called Disney Dining to make reservations. I was appalled when I was told I had to guarantee any dining reservation with a credit card and cancel up to 24 hours in advance or be charged $10 per person. Okay, so that's $60 if we are stuck on a ride or get there late. People with 4 kids are rarely on time. At this point, I was angry enough to ask for a manager to discuss all of these new policies. I spoke to Winston. He was also no help. He said he would gladly take my reservation but not without a credit card. I told him about the debacle at Cosmic Rays. He said he had never heard of that happening before, so I guess it's not his problem. I told him that I took my 2-year-old princess to the Magic Kingdom and she was unable to see Cinderella or Mickey Mouse. Apparently, he didn't care about that at all.
I'm sure he cared about as much as I do at this point.
Then he had the nerve to tell me that everyone is held to their high standard of policies, even executive vice presidents. Really? Well, how does he know I'm not an executive vice president? He said he knew because an executive vice president would not cut off his sentences. Wow! Well, you can tell Winston that I am not an executive, but I am a travel agent. And you can bet that this letter is going to be emailed to everyone I can think of at this point. And if any of my clients ask me where they should visit in Orlando, I will definitely tell them that Disney World is not worth the money anymore. Their customer service is subpar at best and they simply don't care if a little kid is crying because they can't meet their favorite character.
I'm sure you are indeed executive vice president of your mommy blog or travel agency. But you still haven't really given compelling evidence of why Winston the manager should break Walt Disney World policy for you and risk consequences or even being let go over it. So, anyways, this has been a pretty big waste of time. I think we need to wrap.
And if I could have $1 for every time a Disney cast member rolled their eyes at me on my visit, I would have over $100, which would cover the cost of my overpriced Disney ticket. I asked Winston to refund my tickets because at this point I never want to go to Disney again. He offered to transfer me to ticketing but reminded me that the tickets are non-refundable. Great customer service, Disney. Epic fail. I am ashamed of you. I've been a loyal Disney fan and guest for 40 years. It's a shame that that loyalty was shattered in one visit to the so-called Magic Kingdom. If you refuse to do anything to make this right, any future visits to theme parks for my family will be spent at Universal Studios or Busch Gardens. And I mean more than a half-hearted apology and an eye roll.
Okay, like I said, if we could wrap this thing up. I'll leave you with a bit of parting advice. With your ultra-high, entitled expectations, I really don't think Universal is going to be your thing either. In fact, I don't think theme parks are your thing at all. Maybe try your own private island with butler and wait staff or run for President of the United States instead. You could even try and get in as Disney Executive Vice President and may get your way a little more. Jokes aside, I'm sorry you had such as bad time, but your expectations were honestly out the door. And you were naive to think you could walk into Walt Disney World for the first time.
I've been over 20 times Indy.
It's Tim Sierra Mist, and no, you haven't. Nor are you a travel agent. It's one thing to come on this program and share this ridiculous story, it's another to lie over and over, with all due respect, because I appreciate you coming on here and entertaining our viewers tonight. I also don't believe half your story, especially in respect to the hard-working cast members who make the Disney parks what they absolutely are. The fact that millions of guests can visit and enjoy the Disney parks year after year successfully, yet you are having major problems means you would be best served not critiquing the parks, but rather, doing some soul searching on yourself on what you are looking for.
This program is terrible and I'm never coming on again. Ever. Again.
Run away Katiebug101. Run, and never return. On next week's program, oh, who am I kidding? After that train wreck interview, I don't think I can go on. Good night folks, and see you around Walt Disney World. I'll be at the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular set in Disney Hollywood Studios if you want to say hi.